Welcome to the State of the Union for week 12, 13, whatever month we're in. It's great. I'm
Oh
with it.
yeah.
I'm together right now. Um, stuff Sunday. Glad you guys spent some time with us tonight on the combine. Really awesome to have you all. Uh, Looking forward to another cool 30 minutes with you. Gonna start off with a topic that we have talked about before on here.
And it will probably be
Um,
a recurring topic
It'll
as
probably be a recurring topic as time goes on. But from our phone conversation this morning, Greg, when we were talking about what we were going to put on the show tonight to now, there's some things that didn't make a lot of sense to me when I was talking to a certain hedge fund a few months ago
mm-hmm.
about why they buy publishing catalogs. And they said there was a big tax benefit to it. And I'm going to kind of go into that.
Cool.
Why people are doing this.
Okay.
There's a whole other set to it. So I read the New York Times article on this individual selling his catalog. And then I read the Wall Street Journal article, and the journal article got more into the business side of it.
Right.
And the history of why selling your catalog and the way you're taxed from it and where it came from. So here we go. As everyone knows, it's been in the news. Bob Dylan has officially announced that he's selling his rights in perpetuity for anywhere. It hasn't been stated how much, but anywhere from 300 to 400 million as of Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that said, I read the Wall Street Journal article. And with this said, what happens in a situation is if you're big enough and you have a catalog, let's say, and probably most of our listeners are not Bob Dylan. It would be nice, BD, if you wanted to come on the show or talk with us. But aside from that, I'll figure that out later. You say the price hasn't been revealed. With a spate of similar deals, incentives of encouraging transactions. One, he's later on in life, for starters.
Mm-hmm.
He's 79 years old.
Yeah.
His taxes on his current catalog, if he still owned it, would be like normal income. So he would pay you pay upwards of 37% federally in whatever state he's in, he would pay those taxes.
Right.
If he sells the catalog, he's 79 years old, and however many years left he has on this planet, hopefully it's many.
Mm-hmm.
If he sells his catalog now for that price, he pays 20% in taxes in whole.
Oh, okay.
Versus the 37.5 plus whatever the state taxes are where he lives.
Mm-hmm.
With that said, it's a much more favorable tax situation for him
Mm-hmm.
on top of, and also in his twilight years.
Right.
To do that. I'm not going to get into a big estate planning conversation or whatever, but my thing is with this is that being that publishing is becoming less and less of a commodity, in the sense that the powers that be, Spotify, iTunes, and whatever other phone booth that's selling MP3s or streaming,
Mm-hmm.
that it's not in favor of the artist. So with that said, let's look at the flip side of this deal.
Yeah.
We did a story a few weeks ago about Universal Music going public.
Yeah.
As a public company. And let me just check.
And they're not public yet, but they're by them doing this move with Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan, it sweetens the pot. 1 second.
Right. You're pulling up the article.
Yeah, 1 second. So basically what happens in that situation is, as you get closer to the time that you're going to be
Public.
an IPO, essentially, going public, the IPO, initial public offering,
Mm-hmm.
you basically end up sweetening the pot. So now Tencen, who's this huge blockchain company out of China, is the 30% partners, last we saw it, to bring American music into China without Universal getting ripped off, essentially. And that's why that deal was done.
Right.
They're going for the, not necessarily the largest continent in the world. Or are they, is Asia the largest continent? I don't want to be that stupid. I believe they are. One of the largest continents in the world. And reaching people far over and wide without getting screwed. The problem with doing business with music in a lot of other countries is this. you don't have a lot of oversight due to local laws and local customs and things of that nature, where it's inherent. And I'm not saying in all cultures, but in a lot of cultures, you know, thievery in business is just a thing.
Mm.
It just is. It's a fact.
And
Not pointing anyone out, but it's just a fact.
how thieving? Like what is?
Like we're gonna go ahead. Like our friend Steven Strauss has told me stories where like they've had, or actually I knew the woman who started True Religion jeans. This is a great story.
Mhm.
So they were selling True Religion jeans at um, Costco for a while. I said it's so interesting. I said your jeans cost $300 a pair
Mhm.
to buy in your store or Macy's or anywhere else, but I go to Costco and they're $80.
Right.
I go, what's the deal? She
Wasn't
goes,
that
well,
last season stuff? See.
no, 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 no,
Oh,
no, no. Check this one out. At least in this case, it was.
okay.
I'm not going to say in every case, and I'm not going to put
Sure.
Costco under,
Sure.
but in this situation, this is what would happen. So whoever was making their jeans in China, um, basically they had a run of them that were not to spec of the designs that they sent. So
Mhm.
they're made already. They sat on pallets and they just got rid of them, right?
Right.
So what
Liquidate.
happened was is a lot of these companies do, and my brother-in-law ran into this too with his clothing line, is they take the stuff and then they sell it on the B market.
Yeah.
So the Sam's Clubs, and
Yep.
they're not allowed to due to licensing reasons, but because they're in China,
Right.
no one gives a fuck a lot
Ah.
of the time. And it's nothing against the Chinese people. It's just the way it happens. There's no way you can reach over. So with Tencent
Control.
coming into the picture
Music.
um, with music with Universal, there's an extreme amount of oversight that can happen with that deal.
Mhm. More margin
Because
for.
well, also the thing is they have ownership in Universal. They're not gonna undercut themselves.
Okay, so that's a safeguard.
Yeah. So when you're doing these deals and you're going for initial IPO, um, what happens is when you go for the IPO, what happens is um, you want to make sure that the pot is sweetened as much as possible.
You
By
want to get.
getting a deal like Bob Dylan, one of the most prolific fucking songwriters in the world, you know, and American songwriters at that, right there, the branding alone is worth millions.
Mhm.
Forget the publishing of like over and over again what that's gonna bring that company.
Sure. And then you have the leverage. You just have the influential leverage from his all his work, from all this fan, from
Six
every.
hundred songs. 600 songs, dude.
Great. I mean, so that's a good move for them, and when they go public, it will sweeten the pot.
It will
People will
sweeten the
be
pot.
interested.
It'll raise the stock price. Not necessarily. I want to say like on its, but the overall body, it just
Yeah,
helps it out as another
yeah,
factor.
sure. It's more attractive.
It shows investors too that they're buying real stuff. If
Right.
they bought the Beatles catalog, then it would really be game over. But I don't think Paul McCartney's gonna let
So,
that happen.
if I reiterate correctly, it's good for Bob Dylan at this age because he has, he's 79 years old. He doesn't
Lowers
have
his
to
tax bracket for
lowers your
starters.
tax payments, and then he makes 300 to 400 million dollars, which he won't even be able to spend in. Well, maybe he will be, depending
And
his.
he pays basically about, is he paying taxes? He pays about, if it's 400 million, he pays about 20 million in taxes. If it's 300 million, he pays about what's
10.
20%. How much? I'll figure it out. Give me one
It
second.
one
Then he's
second.
about 35.
Oh, okay.
Roughly about 35.
So it's good for him with tax reasons. Not only that, it's fucking millions of dollars, and he can pretty much do whatever the fuck he wants. And then it's good for Universal because it makes the company's value go up when they go public, and they're like the heavy hitters.
Yeah.
They're the heavy hitters.
I mean, they're now the largest, by far, and have been the largest publishing company in the world.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And I thought they were public already. So me not knowing that was
Well, this movie studio is. I don't think the music portion of it
right.
is.
The music isn't right. Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yep.
So, yeah, just wanted to kind of graze over every week. We don't try. We want to bring you something that you can use um into your band. So basically, I was talking to Mike about this, and there's a one course we look at multiple educational courses that are out there because there's a lot of gurus supposedly out there that say they can,
Yeah.
do this and that and the other thing. The truth is, a lot of those educational programs, they're good. You just have to do it. And if you don't, nothing will happen. Some are just like always up for the upsell and the value they give you for the dollars. And let me give you the price point. You could start and get like a course for like $90, right? And you'll get everything you need. They'll tell you exactly what to do in those courses on how to make a Facebook ad that targets certain audiences. And it's really not that hard at the end of the day. But this one entrepreneur training video they had was based on reoccurring content. And I'm just going to give you an example of reoccurring content. Your instrument. So I play drums. So reoccurring content for me would be Tama, Zildjian cymbals, Vic Firth drumsticks or Scorpion percussion, Remo drum heads. It could be Evans, whatever you're using. That's reoccurring content because every time you put something out, you'll be able to put that out on a regular basis. It's content that will always be you can use over and over again. And one thing you could do is there's an app called Repost, and we use it, and it's great because you could just copy. You can go to Tama's page, copy their content, and post it on your page. That's pretty cool. That makes things a lot easier. And you can make it your own and whatever. You can give them props, tag them in it. That's something that you can do. And it's very like once you get over the fact that you should be posting daily, multiple times a day, and you could just at least post once a day, this makes it so much easier to post. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Hey, let me ask you a question about the
Sure.
posting thing. I've always heard that when you are posting,
Yeah.
that you should not just do strictly your career. Now, someone like Thomas McRockland, that's all he does is guitars. But yeah,
Right.
he puts like little funny things into it, because he was Steve Vai's protege when he was a really young kid.
Uh-huh.
What's your philosophy on that? Do you put something that's personal life? Do you put one that's music based, throughout the day? Like, how do you engineer that for us?
Great question. And my answer to you is, and I didn't make this up, this is basically learned and applied. You're branding yourself. You want to be three-dimensional. So we were talking about that last week, and we're always going to take tidbits from other episodes, guys, because this is just ongoing forever. Three-dimensional. You want to have you're going to be more unique and segment yourself in the marketplace because of who you are, what you like, and what you're all about. So the question, and let me answer it, is yeah, you want to post stuff that's all about what you're doing, but you want to have other things that are going to engage people. People want to learn about you and what you're interested in. And those people are going to be fans of, more of not just what you are, creating, what you are all about. Like, so for me, like personal development is really important. Spirituality is very important to me. Mindset's important to me. So for me, it's like I share stuff about mindset, something that would help, relate to people out there. Everybody has thoughts in their head that are crazy. So like what's the most annoying, like here's just like an example. What's the most reoccurring thought that you have every day that doesn't contribute to the betterment of what you're going for in life? Right? That's a
Right.
question that everybody can answer, right? Now you're engaging people. Then you have a post that's basically about the time, the equipment you use. Great. Now you have equipment stuff that you could put on a weekly basis, whatever. Then you have a picture with your pups. I love my dogs. I love my girlfriend. And then you have your friends and that. But like you want to give it a little mix up. So I mean, if you go to Adam Ivy's YouTube, he has really good instructional videos and breaks it down and like, he'll graph it out for you and tell you exactly what pictures, but I'm basically reiterating from what I learned from him and applied to my own stuff. But at the end of the day, you don't have to feel overwhelmed about this kind of stuff. And I was listening to a podcast, and a lot of rappers are really great marketers. And there was this one guy, I forget his name today. I wish I remembered, but I wouldn't waste a wish on remembering that. But but it is good information. And his thing was today, and this ties into this too, is if music is really fun for you and it's a hobby, that's okay. It can be a hobby. It is a hobby. For me, it's a hobby that I'm turning into a living. That's my goal and that should be your goal as well, based on the fact that if you love doing that and you're listening to the show right now, that you're going to be able to help yourself get in the direction of moving your hobby into an actual career move, into monetizing that. So he was saying, look at Jay Leno. Jay Leno was a huge car collector. He
Oh my
spends
God.
hundreds of millions of dollars on cars, right? But
I mean that airplane hangar is intense, dude.
what's that?
He has cars in an airplane hangar. He doesn't have them in
Oh,
a
right.
garage.
Oh, okay. I thought he
No,
had a
like just quick note. Like I live literally maybe 2 miles from where that's at, where
yeah.
like where that hangar is, dude. And like to get into it's like Fort Knox. It's right
Uh,
on Burbank Airport's
that.
lot.
The
Yeah.
point, the point is he's just loves doing it. He doesn't care about, pushing it or like marketing it or anything like that. So the point this producer was making is like, don't get all hung up on just here's the other side to it. Don't get all hung up on like making this a chore. Get excited about it, because if you're not excited about it, you shouldn't be doing it. And you got to get excited about the stuff that needs to get done that you don't do, because once you start putting yourself out there, getting uncomfortable, so this is the next thing, putting $1 a day, that's $30 a month that you could put towards your marketing, towards your brand. And here's
Stop
what it
drinking
is.
Starbucks.
Or you can. I mean, it's $30 is nothing. As artists gain new audience members, they can basically ensure that those audience members are kept engaged using low budget advertising. And this is a $1 a day growth campaign. So they call it the green light warmth boosting campaign. And it allows artists to distribute social posts about new content to their warm audience on a reoccurring basis. And that's guaranteeing that new fans will begin to see more content while you're also keeping the existing fans engaged. So you get that? You hear me?
Yeah.
I mean, that's $1 a day, dude. And that can help grow your fan base exponentially. Okay. And then essentially they have because of the power of this program is called Fan Finder. Many of the listeners will try to learn about the artists after seeing their content, and that's just natural behavior. Like when I go to see an artist, like I click on their page, like my natural behavior is to kind of look into them, and if they don't have anything engaging up, I really just move on with my life. So you want to
Sure.
stop people's loop patterns. That's what we're stopping people to get their attention. And by the way, long-winded ads do work well. That is a proven fact from the data that we're getting back here. Meaning putting out a long post, thought out post of something that you want to speak about. Like, let's just say, man, you ever wake up and you just want to give up and you didn't even start yet. Well, I was there, and like tell you a story. People want to see that shit.
Because they want
People
something that's relatable.
There's people that can relate to that. And that's what
Yeah.
you're doing. So you're relating to people with psychology and what they can relate to, but you're also introducing what your world, right? So now they feel like they can relate to you because you're giving them things that they can relate to, and they feel like you understand them. So they're going to just naturally want to find out more about you. And, you know, essentially, you have call to action plans that you could put out, which would be like, learn more or go behind the scenes by opting in with your email. Now you have their email. Now you have a fan's number. You have their number, you have their phone, your phone number, their name, and their email. Now you can put them on a list, and now you can actually start putting together attractive VIP offers, things like that. You can basically engage them with and keep them entertained. Now you'll have a fan for life, and you can actually start building these email campaigns around your products that you're launching. In this case, it's your music, it's your single. What's around that single that you could sell? You could actually go on Teespring and you could get t-shirts made specifically for that song or a lyric of that song, right? Great. Now you have products around that song that you can actually start posting that song's about. Now you have products. By the way, I just thought of this off the cuff, but you got to be thinking, man. You got to speak it out, because you come up with these things. When these templates are given to you, you could take them and you make them your own.
Also, the other thing too to be mentioned is that these are techniques that we apply for the podcast. It's also techniques we apply to our clients who pay us to do this.
Right. Well, yeah, this is something
So
I
you
do
know
for
what I mean?
businesses that nobody gives a shit about HVAC or plumbing or anything like that. But I am the person that makes people give a shit about that kind of stuff that nobody gives a shit about. But you make that interest. You can make that interesting. Tell a story. You got to tell a story because most people don't tell stories. People, like that's what's going to really make you different. It doesn't matter if you're a musician, I'm a musician, but we're all the same with being musicians, but we all have a different story, and that's what makes you stick out. So that's my 2 cents tonight, and we're going to be
Good
covering more as
times.
we go on.
Yeah, definitely. And this week we have Jeet Paul as our guest on the Combine. And we're also taping a bunch of episodes this week. Episodes that will be coming up in the future will be well, two of them we're doing definitely this week is Anthony Lepardo and Ray Makari from Moontooth
Yep.
will be on. We're
Badass.
also we're also taping an episode with one of my favorites, um, the amazingly talented Roger Joseph Manning Jr.
It was a big one for you.
This is a big one for me from Jellyfish and Licorice Quartet. We're going to talk about Licorice Quartet with him, and I kind of want to maybe dive into some other stuff with him about how what's made his success because
Mm-hmm.
he's career spanned over 30 years and he's one of the more unsung heroes in the music business. He's played with JT, he's played with Jay-Z.
Nice.
Pretty amazing musician.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
So yeah.
So, I'm gonna just basically thank you, everybody who's listening to this, and again, your thoughts and comments are welcomed, and we're basically going to keep coming out with this information every week on in real time, and I'm wishing you guys a great week, and like, don't be afraid to just get uncomfortable a little bit.
And reach out to us. We want to hear what you guys are getting back from this. Hit us up on Instagram, on our website at Linktree. Shout us out.
The
We
Music
love
Combine now.
now.com.
Yeah, the musiccombine.com. You can go, yes, for the latest episodes and all
Yep.
the platforms and everything. So, Mike, thank you,
Pleasure.
sir.
Yes, pleasure. I'll see you guys next week. Thanks so much for coming and spending some time with us on a Sunday night.
Peace
See ya.
out.
Peace out. See ya.
See ya.